Should Scotland become independent from the rest of UK?
No.
Why? Why not?
So I basically think I just don't think it's the most pragmatic thing to do. For example, the UK left the EU, and now is a 40-year economic union, and it's completely messed up the entire country. And I think if Scotland leaves a 400-year political and economic union, I think the consequences are going to be even worse than Brexit. And I just don't think, given the state of the economy and the world at this time, I don't think it is economically the best thing to do, to be honest.
Especially the whole country maybe in the economic crisis now.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. Like I there's a lot of unanswered questions, I think. So, what is the currency going to do? How's the border going? Is it going to be a hard border or soft border? What's going to happen to Trident? I think there are a lot of questions that need to still be answered. And to be honest, I get why people do want to become independent, because the government in Westminster is absolutely terrible. But, then if you want them out, the best way is to vote Labour. And if people voted Labour up here, maybe the Tories would be out in Westminster. So I think I get why people want to be independent. I just don't. I don't think it's a good idea at the moment. And also, personally, as you can hear, I'm English. So, half my family is from Northern Ireland. I lived in Wales for 3 years. I've been living in Scotland for about 3 years. And the union is quite important to me. I like the fact that each separate country has its own different quirks and cultures and idiosyncrasies. And I just think it'll be, just like going, we don't need the EU.
Yeah.
Screwed up Britain. I simultaneously thinking, we don't need the rest of the UK is going to screw up Scotland. So I think, although they might not like the sound of it, I think the ideas for Brexit and Scottish independence are simultaneously from a position which aren't pragmatic or based on facts at all, and mostly based on emotion. Although I have emotions for the union, those are reinforced by cold economic facts. So that's why I don't. But I do get why people do want to leave, because the Truss government's terrible at the moment.
Yeah.
It's absolutely destroying the UK. Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Should Scotland become independent from the rest of UK?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay, it's cool. So why?
Well, I mean, if there's an economic reason, I mean, that would have been based on, North Sea gas and oil and that kind of thing. And that's something we're kind of trying to move away from. And I remember during the last referendum, they were saying we're getting $100 a barrel, whatever, oil. And then it immediately crashed. So it's you wouldn't have been better off in that case. And also, just looking at, revenue from citizens and expenditure, I think it's something like the UK on average spends £11,000 per person per year, and they get about $10,500 per person per year in tax from people and other, income and stuff, and then the rest is debt. And Scotland, they get an expenditure of about £13,000 per year. So, that's way more, and they're not bringing in that money, so man. And also, so I don't think you'd be better off economically. And I mean, a lot of the stuff that the SNP says is pretty sort of wish fulfillment-y about, getting out of obligations in various ways when the thing's over, and how they'll just be basically scot-free for a couple of things. So that, and then also just don't generally think we should be splitting countries apart into smaller bits. Don't really think nationalism is a great force, and the whole Scottish thing it's more left wing than the general sort of nationalism movement you see, but like still not really a fan of it. I mean, whatever. And that's my opinion on it.
Okay, thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Have a nice day.
Do you think that Scotland should be independent?
I haven't made up my mind about that. I think there are strong arguments on both sides. I suppose I'm leaning towards maybe no.
Yeah, I think so. And which party, maybe in Scotland, if it's independent from UK?
Well, if it was independent, I think I'd support the Labour Party.
Labour Party.
I don't know if there would be an SNP party, because once they had independence, or we had independence, its purpose would be over, you know. So.
Do you think which part will be the economic basis for Scotland?
Well, that is a very hard thing to know, because you know Scotland has a variety of interests, and there's tourism and so forth, and oil, but you know they are linked to the. Our biggest trading partner is England, you know, and all, you know, as always has been. That's the problem. So in a way, I favour what's called devolution max, where the Scottish government put pressure on the English government for things that Scotland needs.
Okay.